what are all of the um, capabilities or the purposes that you're looking to use blockchain, in this?
So the first, that's a great question, and the first time we considered blockchain, we presented to government our very first iteration in 2015, and it was as a mental health internet project,
Hmm.
and the government are one of our primary stakeholders, both within development and venture capital. Uh, so the government were like, this is awesome, but there are some major problems around the privacy of capturing people's mental health data on the internet. And so that was initially what led us to decentralized solutions for health records. Um, and the next layer to that was we presented to a friend of ours in VC that we were creating, and this is again 2015, early 2015,
Yeah.
that universal mind, when every person clicks and joins and subscribes, they're issued equal digital shares. So everyone on the planet in the network has, in one click of registration, becomes an owner of the network in a very meaningful and legal way. And my friend in VC had just returned from Singularity University doing the blockchain course. Um, and he was like, dude, you need blockchain. Were his
That's
words
great.
pretty much. He was just like, you need blockchain. So I met with a lawyer to design the architecture for presenting to government. And he was like, I need more information. So I Googled distributing ownership via blockchain and came across Swarm
Oh,
Foundation,
yes.
which
Yes.
was it wasn't a company at that stage. I believe it was an academic white paper
Hmm.
about decentralized organizations and the future potential legal ramifications of distributing equity through blockchain. Um, and, and even the electronic patient records on the blockchain were also a white paper. Having data ownership via blockchain was a white paper with storage, and patientory was the other one we were looking at for health records.
Mm-hmm.
So swarm, patientory, and storage were these hypotheses, and we began on that venture. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. And so we've been talking for a little while. So what brought you into Dragonchain, and what aspects are you considering? And
Yeah. Well, I want to start by saying we genuinely love Dragonchain and working with yourself, Joe, and with the rest of the team with Trey, and look forward to meeting more in the team. We very consciously chose Dragonchain after looking at, I don't know, dozens of blockchain organizations and having many close friends that chose to develop themselves rather than through another platform, let alone another set of developer team.
yeah.
There are I'll go through three quick points that why we chose Dragonchain, and then just a little summary of why underneath that of what I mean. So
Okay.
the first reason we chose Dragonchain was from your heritage in motion picture, emerging from Walt Disney. So we're a TV entity on the internet working with blockchain, and Dragonchain came from the Walt Disney Company, which we highly respect and aspire to. And so we felt there was many blockchain organizations, dreamy concepts that are all about the brave new world, but not necessarily grounded in real world businesses and services that are true and tried and tested. Um, and Disney is certainly is grounded in everyday
Yeah.
life.
Right. Right.
Um,
Right.
this this the second reason we chose Dragonchain is that your foundation is open source. You're already focusing on self-sovereign identity and entertainment. of course, because of your origins. And while being an open source foundation, you have commercial services designed for building blockchains for multinational corporations. And as we are open source, while we are open source, we interface with people, with big business, and with government. So having something that's robust and enterprise is key for us. And the third reason we love the dragons is the platform agnosticism with a scalable multi-chain solution. And by that, I mean, in our real world example, there are 8 individual blockchains that are in our API architecture, and we want a universal chain to do all of those functions and then talk out to each of our decentralized nodes. And so Dragonchain is our universal chain, and it talks to Ethereum, where we have an ERC20 utility coin, which is for our basic income. We then have an SRC20 token, which Dragonchain talks to again, which distributes equity through legally compliant ways in each territory to each person seamlessly, frictionlessly. And then we talk to Matic, which is a plasma chain, which powers our wallet. Dragonchain again is talking directly to Tardigrade, where we're live streaming our multimedia content from, and housing an alternative to Amazon S3 for web storage. Dragonchain talks to Patientory for those who opt into medical research. They have a legally compliant, safe and secure way for ownership of their patient records through the blockchain. And even the final 2, because it keeps going, and you guys said you're not only are you up to the challenge, that this is what you're designed to do, which blew our minds. We connect to the sovereign chain, interfacing Dragon Factor identity with our choice of using a decentralized open source blockchain for identity, so that we, as we become an API outside of our app, that there's more flexibility and more open opportunity to integration. And the final piece of the puzzle, where our friends at Dragonchain pipe straight in, is for when you become a citizen of Universal Mind, you're registered within the self-sovereign nation state of virtual nation state of Universal Mind, and that's done on BitNation's Pangea blockchain, which is the primary blockchain innovating in virtual nation states. So there you go.
Yeah, I want to say,
thank you.
Oh no, thank you for saying all that, because the funniest thing about it is, I mean, that was the vision when we first started this. Is, you know what, we need to be able to do any of these things that we cannot even anticipate, right? Because, and this is very much one of those. I would have never put together that what you're putting together, but when you go through it, it all makes sense. It's like, wow, okay, this is brilliant, and you have to have spent a lot of time talking to people, doing a lot of research, because you basically have selected all of these different components to handle the different aspects of what you need, and that's why we built what we built. And it's amazing to to see somebody actually need it in such a capacity. We've had obviously a lot of cases where people, oh, I need this, right? So okay, we plug that in, but it isn't the commonplace that we see somebody who needs today to connect to all of these different pieces, traditional and and next gen, the blockchain pieces, and your selections have been really very, very I think well put from what I know about all. And I've not even been able to keep up with a lot of the projects through the years here, but but your whole architecture is really interesting, and I don't know what, and I guess that leads to our last bit, that I don't know what's public yet. I see what comes through in the proposals, and when we estimate things for you, and so I have to drill down into these particular pieces on integration. So that's really deep in my head, but I don't know what you've exposed. So I've been very quiet about everything. So maybe you can tell everyone where they can go to in as we progress, and as you build this out, where they can follow you and where they can follow Universal Mind and progress.
So at the moment we're pre-launch. So there's a historic website which you can see on screen, which was created for a mental health research grant a year ago. So while it gives some spirit of what we do, it's very much a historic iteration. So nothing's online at the moment. In the next 4 to 6 weeks, however, the universalmind.tv domain is going to house our phase 1 investor portal. And that portal, through a series of very short animated videos, explains our vision for a more beautiful world with the internet that we know is possible. Technologically, how we're achieving that and innovating with respecting privacy and understanding emotions and happiness through mobile phone technology, through medical grade, FDA approved APIs. And thirdly, the partners we're working with in order to realize this vision. So while we're working with yourselves for blockchain, where our live stream is through an Australian company called Switch, who are the same team that stream Game of Thrones for Foxtel. So they're huge. They stream for the Olympic Games. So and likewise, all of our development partners are. We certainly haven't gone for cheap. At every point, we're being, who is the best person or best organization on the planet to achieve our goals at a scalable enterprise level way, completely keeping blockchain behind the scenes and creating people-friendly products that are exactly the same as the Netflix app or the YouTube app or Twitch. We're completely simplifying with your assistance, rather than needing to understand how an Ethereum wallet works. I'm so happy that Dragonchain interfacing through your loyalty program. People can spend our Ethereum through the Apple Wallet in the same way that they would spend Flybys or in Australia we have Woolworths, and spending the loyalty points, and it simplifies and creates utility for everyday people so we're certainly, while we're completely built on blockchain, where our modus operandi is a people-friendly entertainment app that is all about a beautiful TV experience.
Excellent. Well, it's we love the vision, and it's a really bold vision, and I think as people learn more about it, I mean, it'll especially with the components you're talking about, you should be able to drive adoption. You should be able to do some really neat things. So thanks a bunch for coming on, and we'll have to have you come on again as you progress if you're open to that, as you move forward, right?
Absolutely. I mean, there's plenty more. I mean, we didn't really speak about the innovation we're doing together with Your Power in digital rights management, and Ethereum, which I feel is that's an episode all in itself another time.
Yeah, that's true, because I mean there are some really interesting pieces there that we've been frankly waiting for someone to come along to build some of those components that that needs them, because there's some things are relatively simple in concept, and yet really powerful, and right now they're being ignored. So that component alone excites me. If that was all you were building, I would love it. But don't let anyone stop you. Make sure you keep building this thing. Okay. All right.
Yeah, absolutely. And together we'll make it happen. So,
Right on. All right. Thanks, Ben. Ben
thanks,
Korbel,
man.
Universal Mind.